A new product that I recently picked up is this wag flag kit for modern studio equipment. If you don't know what a wag flag is, a wag flag essentially allows you to run a large piece of fabric for film without having to build an entire frame. So if you are someone like me who might be working on a quick project where things are fast paced, you might have a smaller crew, but you want to run a large piece of fabric, whether it's diffusion, whether it's balanced material or negative fill, but you don't want to have to go through the trouble of building out an entire frame, that's where a wag flag comes into play. So modern studio equipment has this bag that you can buy. You can actually get this as an entire kit that comes with some of the fabrics. I chose to build my own kit because I wanted to pick out my own materials. But this particular kit, as you can see, it fits really well in the back of a truck or in a van, in a small SUV, a car. It doesn't take up a lot of space. I don't have a 1 ton or 3 ton or 5 ton grip truck, so for me, that's really important. And what's awesome is when you open this thing up and you look inside, you've got slots for fabrics, and then you've got another slot for your frames. When it comes to building a wag flag, normally a traditional wag flag would be a pre-built frame, and you'd buy either a 4-foot, a 6-foot, or an 8-foot frame. However, with modern studio equipment, they make a modular frame that breaks down to 2-foot sections, which is perfect. If you're like me and you're working out of the back of a truck or you're working out of a van, a car, this is great because it allows you to keep a real portable setup with all your frames and fabrics in one place. The way this works is you have one end that goes into a knuckle on like a C-stand or a combo stand. You have middle sections that attach to this section. And then you have an end section that the cloth slips over. So if you just put 2 of these together, that gives you a 4-foot flag. If you put 3 pieces together, that gives you a 6-foot. 4 pieces gives you an 8-foot, which is the largest size that you can get materials for wag flag. So I'm gonna show you how we can go from these 3 pieces to a 6-foot flag and how quickly you can do this by yourself with a single stand. Let's run the timer. And just like that, I was able to build a 6-foot by 6-foot piece of magic cloth that we could use for lighting a scene or for an interview. And it just took me a minute or 2 to set up. And I did it by myself and on one stand. And you can even get away with a C-stand. You don't even need a combo stand. But you can easily see how this is a great product to have on any set. Doesn't matter the size, big size, small size. When I'm on a set, I can easily have a PA go and set this up for me while I'm focusing on something else, which is awesome. So that's where to me this really shines, is just the speed and how only one person is required to be able to build it out. The fact that I can fit in this bag 2 full-on frame kits that can be 4-foot, 6-foot, or 8-foot and have all materials for that in there and all the fabrics in one case is awesome. So I could show up with just this bag and build 2 8x8s with cloth right out of this, which is a tremendous thing. Yes, you can T-bone and there are other ways that you can hang cloth and clamp cloth, but if you're just looking for a sleek, one and done professional solution for hanging cloth, to me, this is it. I also want to point out that on these flags, there's actually pocket on the bottom. So you can run if you've got a spare gobo arm, you could slide the rod in there and add weight to the bottom just to help support it. I haven't really found a need to do that very, very often because I'm using these primarily indoors. And I have a 4x4 on right now with some magic cloth that I'm using for this particular video, and I don't have a gobo arm holding it down at the bottom, and it's perfectly fine. But if you were worried about this moving during a shot, you could easily throw a piece of pipe or a gobo arm or something like that in there just to give it some weight if you wanted. Plus, what else is great is in this particular bag, I pieced this together myself, and the reason why is they sell kits online, but I wanted to pick out all my own materials for it. And so in this bag, I've got unbleached muslin, magic cloth, quarter, half, and full grid cloth, and Ultra Bounce, which has a black side for negative fill and a white side for bouncing off of. And I'm able to fit all 6 of those materials I just mentioned. I have that in 4 foot by 4 foot, 6 foot by 6 foot, and 8 foot by 8 foot. So all 3 sizes. And I have all of that in this bag along with 2 full modular frames. So I could show up with just this bag and build 2 8x8s with cloth right out of this, which is a tremendous thing. You could not do that on a traditional full frame. And what's really cool is you can get really creative with it. If you take 2 6x6s or 2 8x8s and you put Ultra Bounce on one and grid cloth on the other, for example, and you put them next to each other, you could build a book light with just 2 stands, which is awesome. And a single person could do that by themselves while everyone else is focused on setting up other stuff. That's what I love about Wag flags. That's what makes this product so special. So this is not going to replace a frame. If you're looking to film outside, you still want a frame, and a full frame. And if you're wanting to do like a overhead butterfly or put something high at an angle, a frame is still going to be useful. So I'm not saying or suggesting that this replaces a frame in all scenarios, but if you just want to have some cloth up, you want to add some diffusion, block light, have bounce material, this is really hard to beat. So check out Modern Studio Equipment. Check out their modular frames. You can buy a pre-built kit, or you can do what I did and make your own. It's a great product. I highly recommend it.